Minotaur ReFantazio is one of my favorite games of all time.
This is our chance!
Well, strike! This could be our chance. Let's take them all out! Well done, Captain! To battle!
Unfortunately, it's not hard enough for a self-proclaimed masochist like me. That's why, to torture myself, I came up with a stupid idea. You see, this game features two distinct leveling systems. Normal experience, which is tied to your character, and Archetype experience, which is tied to the classes of your characters called Archetypes. So, with the assistance of the Metaphor scholar Dev Chaos, I have modded my game to completely disable normal experience gain. This prevents me from getting even a single point of experience from random encounters and boss fights alike, meaning that I will have to play the entire game at level 1. And to make things even more interesting, I'm going to do this on the highest difficulty called Regicide. So now, dear viewer, what you are about to see is the beginning of a tale unlike any other. It is a journey filled with countless losses, crazy boss fights, and insanely in-depth game knowledge, all for the sake of turning my fantasy into a living reality. This is the story of my grand fantasy, beating Minotaur ReFantazio at level 1.
Yep, we're safe here.
And now that I've got access to the merchant, I can finally indulge in my capitalistic ambitions by farming as much money as I want!
Then state your name!
I am the hero, the savior of this country.
While reading my fantasy book, I found a passage about a game called Girls Frontline 2 Exilium. Right now, the game is celebrating its first anniversary major update part 2. You can get loads of free rewards, the brand new character Robella, new outfits and new activities in the crew deck. Girls Frontline 2 is the sequel to Girls Frontline.
Well, duh.
It's a free-to-play 3D strategy RPG that's available on both PC and mobile devices, where you and your tactical dolls face off against your enemies in turn-based encounters. Whenever you aren't sending your dolls in the trenches of war, you can fully customize their 3D weapons. You also got a fully interactive 3D refitting room where you can change the perks of your dolls as well as their outfits, and there is a dormitory where you can interact with your companions in unique ways. Let me give you an example. Hello, let's shake hands. Wait! I said shaking hands, not throwing hands! First thing first, we've got the main event. It's called Deep Oblivion, and it offers over 130 free polls and 13,000 collab species. By the way, if you missed part 1 of the first anniversary update, there is no need to worry because you can still claim a ton of rewards in this part 2 update. On top of what I just spoke of, we've got the crew deck. The crew deck features different areas that you can explore, and what's pretty cool about this place is that you can change its appearance. There are also special activities that you can only do here, like the interactive stories. Right now, there are 2 stories for you to enjoy, Makiatto's and Klukai's. If you log in before January 7th, you can claim the item called the Time Capsule Pulse Racing Night to unlock Makiatto's interactive story. As for Klukai, before January 7th, you can claim 35 outfit access permissions for free. These items can help you unlock Klukai's new outfit, and once you get the outfit, you can unlock her interactive story. We also get to unlock a new character, the lovely Robella, who comes with a brand new elite weapon, the Wanderer Magnum. You see how each of her eyes is of a different color? I really like that. We are basically kindred spirits. Robella specializes in the ice element, so if you wanna make the most out of her frigid fortress tactic, you can pair her with characters like Makiatto, Suomi, as well as Dushevnaya. If you enjoy Robella as much as I do, Don't forget to check out her new outfit and weapon skin. Her new Future Navigator outfit will be available at a limited time discount in the Outfit Boutique from December 18th to January 7th. Suomi's brand new outfit will also be available at a limited time discount from December 23rd to January 7th. So make sure to click on the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to download the game on PC or your phone to experience the anniversary's hype and become a proud member of the Elmo family. Thank you very much for the sponsor, Girls Frontline 2. Our story begins in the desert of we are off to a great start. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like something is missing. Oh, right! Gallica, please turn on the music.
Music was the first magic this world ever knew, after all. Makes the road a little easier.
Thanks, Gallica. Before heading towards the royal capital, there is something that I would like to tell you about regarding this challenge. As I said in the intro, I am doing this run on Regicide. While Regicide is indeed the highest difficulty in the game, it comes with a major downside. Regicide is a difficulty that you can only access in the New Game Plus playthrough after beating the game. And unfortunately, in this game, there is no way to choose what gets carried over in New Game Plus. Meaning that playing on Regicide forces you to carry over multiple things from your previous playthrough like money, items, and a ton of other things that make the overall experience a lot easier. This was a big no-no for me, which is why I searched for a workaround. Fortunately, the Steam user Albioris found a way to activate Regicide difficulty on a fresh save file. As they put it, this save has no extra items or abilities. Just pure suffering for you, which is exactly what I needed. After getting pushed down the cliff, I decided to test my mettle by defeating a couple of early game enemies. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. No! Oh, there's one more here too. No, it's chasing me. No. Run, Gallica! Run! The road was bumpier than expected, but we finally made it. Welcome to Grand Trad. I then made my way to the recruitment center, and it was there that I had to make a choice. Here you have to choose one of 5 answers, and the answer you pick will decide what your starting stats will look like. Personally, I went with the answer most befitting for a self-proclaimed masochist.
I can take a lot of punishment.
Really now?
Then I had to pick a name, and for once, I decided to go with Will because Will is the canon name of the protagonist. No, of course not, I'm lying. I gave myself the most shameless name I could think of, and just like that, I was able to join the Guard Corps.
I'm looking to enlist. Is that enough for you or not?
An uppity one, aren't you? Fine, lordling. Welcome to the Guard, where it'll be your privilege to die screaming and bloody in service of your country.
Rousing words, Captain. You think threats will buy loyalty? No wonder nobody respects the Guard anymore.
Insolent pup! You will learn your place.
Don't. The healers have enough on their plates already.
Be gone, and be thankful you're still in one piece.
I really don't like this captain guy, but I'm glad that I came here because it allowed me to meet one of the best characters in the entire game, my man Stroll. We then made our way to the northern border fort, only to realize that the place had been completely ravaged by a mysterious creature known as a human. Speaking of humans, Here comes our regularly scheduled tutorial battle against Homo Hoppo, and I think now is as good a time as any to go over what the Regicide difficulty actually does. In addition to increasing the amount of damage dealt to you, the main defining feature of Regicide is that... Ah, how convenient, we get to see it in action. Yeah, so on Regicide difficulty, you receive double the damage from critical hits, and triple the damage from attacks targeting your weakness. What you just saw is an event that I commonly refer to as a Regicide moment. And the fact that I already got a Regicide moment in the tutorial is truly an ill omen of things to come. Since I can't earn EXP, there is really no point in fighting the enemies in this area, so I made sure to grab all the items I could find, and then I opened the door to face the first boss, Homo Gorleo. Unfortunately, this is a fight that we have to lose. Stroll got absolutely wasted, and it looked like my fantasy was about to end prematurely. But then...
Oh, fate-saddled child. Oh, anguished traveler. Thy path may fork, but only one may be chosen. Confront the threat before thee, or die here in obscurity. Now choose.
I choose.
So be it. Heroism lies in the soul that stands firm against its fears. Power awaits thy command. The time is come to awaken the hero within. Engrave thy very heart.
Well, it looks like fantasy will live on for a little while longer because I've just awakened to the power of the Archetype. Thanks to the Seeker Archetype, I was able to heal myself when needed, as well as targeting the boss's weakness. From there, all I had to do was land enough wind attacks to blow away Homo Gorleo.
Let's go! Wind!
Now that the human threat is no more, there are two things that I would like to address. The first one is this tiny number that you can see in the EXP section of the results screen. Fret not, my friend. I am not a liar. This is just a visual bug. Now, put the gun away, please. Thank you. I'm not gonna go into the details too much, but essentially, this game really wants to make sure you get EXP. So much so that it has some kind of fail-safe function that tries to give EXP even when you can't earn any during battles. Fortunately, Dev Chaos was able to fix this on the backend. So while you may see a number displayed here, in reality it won't matter at all because my EXP bar will never get filled. Hey, I said put the gun away! Now, as for my second point. In this game, there are two distinct forms of experience. Regular experience that goes to your characters, and Archetype experience, or AEXP for short. While I can't earn regular EXP, Archetype EXP hasn't been changed at all. I will still be able to level up my archetypes, and nurturing those archetypes is going to be an absolute must to stand a chance against the insane obstacles that I will have to face. Ah, right. With Homo Gorleo out of the picture, I can introduce you to another one of my favorite characters, Grius.
I'm counting on you.
Ah, what a lovely accent this man has. I have to say though, I am really worried for this dude because by God, this man has so many death flags floating around him, it's insane. So, Grius, let me get this straight. You are an old man in an RPG, your face doesn't show up in the list of followers, you have suspiciously high stats compared to the rest of the party, and you want to kill Louis Guyaburn. The Archmage Louis Guyaburn, the guy on the cover, the man who can literally be seen murdering the king in the opening cutscene of the game. It's only been an hour of playtime, and you are already talking about killing that man, that Louis Guyaburn.
He will die by my hand.
I don't know, dude. I have a bad feeling about this. You know what? That's enough for today. Oh, yeah, allow me to introduce you to this place. Welcome to the Cathedral of Shadow... no, wait. Welcome to the Velvet Room... No, that's not it. Welcome to Academia, a hall of wisdom purpose-built for the research of archetypes. This handsome fellow with an amazing sense for fashion is Moore. Since there was more that I wished to know about Moore, I decided to form an alliance with Moore to learn more about archetypes. And by shaking his hand, I unlocked a new bond with my first social media follower. There is more that I could tell you about Moore, but as the saying goes, less is more, so for now, let's go back to our mission. In order to reach the mines, we have to go through the Nord Forest Trail, and it is in this area that we can already see one of the complications caused by this run. So one of the things that Metaphor does differently compared to other Atlus games is that it lets you engage in some overworld combat before starting a turn-based encounter. What's interesting about this system is that the outcome of the overworld combat will change based on your level. If the enemies are significantly weaker than you level-wise, you can quickly defeat them without needing to go into a turn-based battle. Normally, at this point in the game, you should be at level 4. A level that is high enough to trash these monsters. However, this time around, I am at level 1, and the Hundles are also at level 1. Since my enemies and I are at the same level, they aren't considered weak enemies. Therefore, I cannot one-shot them. These guys are the weakest enemies in the entire game, by the way, so if I can't even one-shot them, this means that I will never be able to one-shot anything in this entire run. As I was trying to leave, I got ambushed by 2 State Army soldiers, and it's here that a really cool mechanic gets introduced. Formations. If you are in the front row, you will deal more damage with melee attacks, but you will also take full damage. If you are in the back row, your melee damage will go down, but you will also take less damage from enemies. Now, what's really interesting is that you can always change the formation of a character right before they act, and I really like this because it makes the mechanic so much more dynamic. Since I still can't directly control my allies, I made sure to guard before the fire moves would come out, as well as attacking whenever it was appropriate, until Grius and Stroll were able to defeat the soldiers. With that done, I entered inside the mines, and it was there that my allies and I met a familiar face.
O thou who art seared with bitterness, O thou anguished traveler, it is time for thou to choose thy path. O lodestar, whose light reveals the king's own path, awaken.
What?
What the? Oh, no! I can't fail Lord Louis! Without him, I've got nothing left! You struggle in vain! I won't let you rob me of my glory! This is the way of the real world, little lordling!
You call this real? Leaders abandon their people and the innocent die by their scorn. If that's the real world, then it can die alongside you! My name is Leon Stroll de Haliatus. My home and my family were taken from me. I am the last of my house. I am the last of my noble bloodline. And in the name of my people, I will strike you down where you stand! I will show you a world with honor.
Dude, that performance right there is top-notch. Absolute fantasy. Shout out to Stuart Clark, the voice actor of Stroll, for absolutely nailing this moment. Also, this is a minor thing, but you see that stance that Stroll is taking? I am not sure if it has a name, but this greatsword stance, with this particular camera angle, is actually quite popular in mecha anime like in the Gundam series. It's one of those things that you immediately notice after seeing it once. In a way, it's kinda like how so many shows love referencing the iconic bike slide from the animated movie Akira, and I find stuff like this pretty neat. So, for this fight, the main issue comes from the fact that Captain Klinger exclusively spams fire spells. This is quite unfortunate for our protagonist because the Seeker has a fire weakness and I can't change my archetype right now. Eventually, Klinger went for the right target and my guy got absolutely regicided. Luckily for me, in this game you don't get a game over if the protagonist gets KO'd, so I was able to continue. Also, I have now gained control of Stroll, and because he awakened to the warrior archetype, he gained a fire resistance. Thanks to Stroll's durability, he was easily able to shrug off those fire spells while slowly whittling down the captain. And then, once Klinger got low enough, I used the revival medicine to bring back our protag just in time to land the finishing blow, thus ensuring that he would get some AE XP from the fight.
Scour!
Louise!
With this victory under my belt, I then shook the hand of Best Noble Stroll and he became my most recent follower on Twitter. And now, all I need to do is unlock an archetype for Greaves to use.
That is...
Oh, I don't have enough mag to purchase anything. That's unfortunate. Well, I guess I will do that later. Oh, wait. Why can't I leave this menu? Oh, no, wait, no. So, here is a fun, not so fun fact that I just learned. On Regicide difficulty, the amount of magla you need for studying an archetype is doubled. Normally, this isn't an issue because to play on Regicide, you need to go in New Game Plus. And when you go in New Game Plus, the amount of mag you had in your cleared save data gets carried over. However, because my Regicide save is just a modified basic save file, I don't get that kind of luxury, so I am literally soft-locked by the Archetype tutorial. Unable to do anything, I closed the game and then I reloaded an earlier save file to restart the entire Nord Trail segment while making sure that I defeated every single enemy to squeeze as much magla as I could. So in other words, I had to
kill every last one of them!
And while I was killing every last one of them, I had to make sure that I would do so without getting hit. You see, in this game, when you win a battle without getting hit, you get a bonus applied to the resources that can be obtained at the end of the battle, mag included. If the enemies were able to attack right away, this would be borderline impossible, but luckily for me, this issue can be remedied by abusing the stun mechanic. Enemies in this game have a yellow bar that's called a break gauge. By attacking them repeatedly, you will be able to deplete the gauge, and once it's fully empty, you will stun them. Stunning enemies is extremely useful because it allows you to deal damage with a preemptive strike before they get to play the game, and because they are stunned, they are guaranteed to spend their first turn doing absolutely nothing. Well, kinda. See, while attacking a stunned enemy, there is a chance that one of your attacks will make them recover from the stun. This means that sometimes it's actually better to not attack as hard as you could to make sure that your foes will remain stunned during the first enemy turn. This might sound simple to do, but remember, at this point in time, I still can't control what Stroll and Greaves do. So I can't just spam attacks and win. I have to purposefully guard as well as make use of my magic spell to get as many unscathed triumphs as possible while killing every last one of them. After decimating the entire population of the forest, I then proceeded to enter inside the mines where I killed every last one of Klinger's men without getting hit. As for the head honcho himself, he got clapped very easily, and now for the moment of truth.
This right here. Now then. this here.
Please, tell me I have enough. Tell me I have enough mag.
That means...
Show me my mag already. Stop talking more. Oh, that was close. By the way, at that point, I hadn't lost a single battle yet, so funnily enough, the first loss I ever suffered in this run wasn't against a random encounter or a boss fight, but a tutorial menu. In preparation for the horrors that awaited us inside the mines, I gave Grius the mage archetype, and now that I have gained full access to Academia, I can show you a little something. So Minotaur has a bunch of iconic DLC outfits from previous Atlas games that you can purchase. You've got your Persona outfits, some Etrian Odyssey costumes, hell, there is even the Join High School uniform from Shin Megami Tensei 5. All these outfits are cool and all, but I didn't get them. Instead, I bought the one DLC set that resonates with me on a personal level, the Samurai Garb DLC. These lovely clothes come from Shin Megami Tensei 4, a game that is very dear to me because it's the first SMT game I ever played. Since Minotaur is in many ways a celebration of Atlus's history, I felt like it was only fitting for me to wear the outfit from the game that got me where I am today. At last I can finally equip the Samurai Garb on all my allies. Wait. For some reason, Grius is the only one who cannot equip the Samurai Garb. Oh my god, no. Well, in any case, now we can finally focus on our new objective, the flight from the mines. First, I bought all 5 ice chunks from the merchant, then I tried to see how long it would take to kill a slime by just playing Dark Souls. It took God knows how many slashes, but eventually, the slime was bested. How long did that take, you may ask? Well, it only took 2 minutes to kill 1 slime. So, yeah, let's not do that again. Watch closely. You are about to experience a regicide moment. A regicide moment is a moment where a seemingly fine battle goes out of control because an enemy whose moveset you do not know decided to hit your weakness or land a bullshit critical hit out of nowhere. Thank you very much, ballsack snake. Hold up. This snake has a ballsack hanging below its jaw? Why does this snake have a ballsack hanging below it? After gaining enough mag, I unlocked the Mage for Will, and then I made sure that both Grius and him reached rank 2 in order to unlock the ice spell Blaze. Speaking of Grius, from time to time he can use a move called Phantom Dance. I am really glad that he is on the team because I would hate to be on the receiving end of his Shadow Clone Jutsu. Getting through this section was tougher than expected, but eventually I found a weird Magla crystal guarded by a human. So Homo Full Kilo has a pattern. At specific intervals, he will use Hyper and then prepare an attack that targets the front row. That attack is Bonfire of Vanities, and it's really powerful, but since it only targets party members in the front row, you can just bring everyone to the back row to avoid it. The tricky part in this fight is surviving whatever the Homo decides to do in between those scripted moments. But by making use of the guard mechanic, we were able to endure the onslaught until Full Kilo decided to go for his scripted combo a second time. Unfortunately for the boss, that sequence leaves him wide open for 2 turns, and since he was quite low, I knew that this was the right time to strike. So I attacked with everyone, made sure to bring Stroll in the back row to dodge the bonfire, and then on the following turn, a Blizz and a Bonk were more than enough to defeat the human. Right after that, we've got a stealth section where you have to sneak around to avoid waking up the sleeping dragon. Now, I could play this segment as intended to leave this area without going through a mental breakdown,
but where would the sport be in that?
The pain is what makes battles worthwhile, so I skipped the stealth segment to go straight towards the dragon.
What have I done? What have I done? I've weathered worse. I'm sorry. Everyone, forgive me. I've weathered worse.
Oh boy, first thing first, let's go over the pros. The battle system in this game is just like the press turn system from the Shin Megami Tensei series. This thing is weak to ice, so at the very least we can exploit that weakness to act more often. And that's it for the pros. As for the cons, this thing is a level 12 fire dragon who has 2 press turns and hits so hard, dude. Wow! It was rough, but eventually, after many losses, I got an attempt where we were able to survive the first couple of turns, so now I can actually show you what this boss does. Oh my god! But of course, Regicide Memento. The fire dragon always alternates between using physical and magic attacks, and what this thing does during the first 3 turns of the fight is essentially guaranteed. Turn 1 it uses Scratch, turn 2 it uses Fireballs, and then on turn 3 it goes for the dreaded Tail Swipe move. The real problem in this fight is the Tail Swipe because it hits multiple characters all at once. If everyone gets hit by it, it's almost impossible to keep going, but it turns out that this skill has an interesting quirk. This Tail Swipe can only target a specific row. So if I leave one ally in the front row and the dragon targets them with the Tail Swipe, the other allies in the back row will not get hit. Initially, I thought that the full mage squad was the way to go, but through testing, I realized that keeping Stroll on Warrior was a lot better. With the built-in fire resistance, Stroll is able to tank the fireballs decently well whenever he gets targeted. Also, after reaching rank 8 with Warrior, my man unlocked Slicer, a pretty good slash attack that hits 2 to 4 times. Another thing that I did was using my Corrosive Acid. This item is dropped by the green gelatinos, and it's really useful because it allows you to debuff the defense of the enemy by 1 stage for 3 turns. Of course, the dragon kept regiciding me many times, forcing me to watch the "Fantasy is dead" screen very often, but eventually, after dozens of tries, I got what looked like a good attempt.
Can't say I was expecting you, Doc, to fight. You're either bloody bold or too confident for your own good. Listen, keep an eye on its movements. Be ready for anything. If you sense it bracing to strike, stand your ground and shield yourself. Do not waste your lives in a place like this. Now, let's go, lads!
At the start of the battle, the mages kept hitting the weakness, while Stroll used those extra actions to bring the dragon to -2 defense. And then the dragon obliterated Stroll by targeting him twice in a row. Fortunately, I had a revival medicine on hand, so while Grius kept hitting the dragon, I was able to bring Stroll back and fully heal him. We then survived the fireballs, and once turn 2 ended, I had to find what would be my best course of action. We were at the dawn of the 3rd turn, and the defense debuffs were blinking. Knowing that a Tail Swipe was coming, I sent Grius to the front row, healed the squad as best as I could, and then Stroll ended the turn by finally using my last Corrosive Acid. After that, Stroll tanked a Scratch, and fortunately for us, the dragon ended his turn by targeting Grius with the Tail Swipe. I was relieved to see that we survived the terrifying turn 3, but deep down, I knew that this was no cause for celebration. The fire dragon hits really hard, and with how difficult it is to bring everyone back to full HP, I knew that we wouldn't be able to survive for much longer. We had to end this fight as soon as possible. Oh, we live. Oh. I think I have to attack. Everyone has to attack. Okay, I believe.
You hit their weakness.
The power of heroes.
Got them right in their
Come on, Stroll. Come on, Stroll. Let's do this. Yes.
Let's stay calm.
Oh, the crit. Come on, boys. We can do this. Come on.
I call upon Royal
Do it, Stroll. Yes. Yes. I beat the dragon at level 1.
Not bad.
God, I am so proud of myself. The fire dragon has been repelled, and that allowed me to get the treasure it was guarding. The dragon's indignation. A great sword that's going to be pretty decent for the early game. Now, all that remains is leaving these mines. You know, playing a Crash Bandicoot level while escaping the mines wasn't on my bingo card, but yeah! Metaphor ReFantazio, everybody! My game of the year 2024.
We actually made it out.
And in one piece, no less.
Guys, I just remembered something. You saw how I used all my corrosive acids during the fire dragon fight, right? Well, the thing is, these items are extremely important for an upcoming boss fight, and the only consistent way to farm those during the early game is defeating those gelatinos inside the mines. Sorry, Grius, we have to go back.
What?
Also, we have to fight the dragon again.
I disagree.
Funnily enough, this time I was actually able to beat the fire dragon on my first try. After grabbing enough corrosive acids, we made it back to Grand Trad, then we went to the Hush Honeybee where we met two lovely characters. The beautiful Miss Fabienne and the sweet little Maria, Grius's daughter. Speaking of Maria, I spent some time reading a book with her, and that allowed me to unlock the healer archetype.
Papa.
I'll be back tonight. Be a good girl while I'm gone, eh?
Once we're back, let's all have dinner together.
Yes, please.
Ah, Grius. Maria. No, it's too early for the depression to kick in. We've got a job to do. Well, we've made it to the Grand Cathedral. Louise Guyaburn should be here any minute now. Any minute now.
Your fool of a king is dead!
Huh, speak of the devil. By the way, here is a cool thing that I noticed while replaying this game. Louis's gauntlet runner is called the Caradrius. And while it might seem like it came out of nowhere, his arrival was actually foreshadowed early on. During the Tradia Desert segment, if you look up, you can actually see a massive ship in the sky heading towards Grand Trad, and that ship is none other than the Caradrius. This game is full of little things like that, and I really appreciate this level of attention to details. Alright, time to set our plan in motion.
I am Hithlodius V. The people of my land desire a new king, and I shall provide. Heed me, O kingless. Time is finite before my soul departs this benighted world. In 4 moons of life past death, there shall come a reckoning, a day of the hero. Upon that day, whosoever hath truly earned my greatest treasure, the One Piece, shall ascend to throne and crown by right of kings.
Hold on. Did the king... Did he just say the One Piece?
Impressive. One of the royal family's dogs. Rather poetic, I suppose.
See how he has rewarded your loyalty.
Oh, Grius, you old goat, I told you this was not a good idea. Immediately after the cutscene, you get thrown into a fight against the Skeleton Gang squad. This one is actually pretty annoying because it is yet another run-ending tutorial masquerading as a fight. The skeletons in this battle always go first, and one of them is guaranteed to crit troll just so that the game can teach you about the anxiety status.
What is this? What the hell is this?
Anxiety is a status that you can be afflicted with if you get ambushed, get your attacks blocked, or when you receive a critical hit. This status effect prevents you from controlling your archetype abilities, but what's really dangerous about it is that attacks against an anxious ally will not consume enemy turn icons. Much like in real life, anxiety really sucks, but the silver lining is that it will go away as soon as you get hit by one attack. Getting wrecked by these skeletons made me pretty anxious, but that was before I realized something. These guys are weak to light, and this is perfect because the healer archetype that I got from Maria just so happens to come with the light skill Hama. Wait, do I have enough mag to study the healer?
Do make yourself at home.
Thankfully, this time I have enough mag to unlock the archetype right away, so I won't need to go back to the mines again. One thing that's good to know about anxiety is that you can still use items freely when you are anxious, so Stroll was able to heal the squad while I kept hitting weaknesses. I was pretty worried about the enemy phase, but fortunately, putting everyone in the back row allowed us to survive the barrage of attacks. And from there, all it took was a combination of Hama and Stroll doing Stroll things to defeat the gang squad.
You hit their weakness!
Closing the distance.
Now, I would love to continue exploring the Cathedral, but yeah, that's not happening. Luckily for us, Hulkenberg knows another way to get inside. By following her lead, we were able to go through the mausoleum, which is connected to the Cathedral.
What? It can't be.
No way.
Alsus, stop it! Don't!
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. O lodestar who wanders in solemn duty, O thou anguished traveler. Thy long stagnant stance hath finally been broken. Now choose thy path.
Here now my new calling, transcending all oaths. I choose life of my own will!
Thank you. Thou hast chosen a noble parting. Now, awaken.
My name is Iselin Pacelli Majal Hulkenberg. I am knight, I am commander, and last of the honor guard! Once more, I take up arms in my liege's name! Alsus, I will see you freed.
Alas, the time has come to deal with Undead Grius. This battle has the potential to be nightmarish because of one single move: Phantom Dance.
Your Highness.
Fortunately for me, Hulkenberg absolutely carries during this fight because of her skill called Knight's Proclamation. This move allows Hulky to draw the aggro towards her for one turn. When used during this fight, Knight's Proclamation guarantees that Grius' attacks will always target Hulkenberg, but that's not all. This move will also force Undead Grius to replace his Phantom Dance with Mocking Phantasm, a single-target version of his Shadow Clone Jutsu. So for this fight, Hulky went for Proclamation every turn, while the others kept dealing damage as well as healing her when needed. Just like the skeletons we faced previously, Grius also has a light weakness. And by exploiting it with my healer, I was able to let Hulkenberg draw the aggro and then act a second time to guard, allowing her to take even less damage. This strategy proved to be solid, and after landing one last Hama, I was able to put our old friend to rest for good.
It's okay, let's go!
And Maria's home. I leave them in your hands.
We'll do as you ask, friend. I swear it.
Okay.
Alright, there is something important that I want to point out. Something that really shook me to my core once I noticed it. This is Hulkenberg's first battle, and as you can see here, she is at level 1. This is worth mentioning because normally, Hulkenberg does not join you at level 1. So, what the hell is going on here? Typically, in a run like this where you can't earn EXP, party members who join late are a lot more valuable because they come at a higher level, while also boasting higher stats. I was under the impression that party members in this game joined at a fixed level, but that isn't the case. In reality, they start at level 1, and then, behind the scenes, a function levels them up to bring them to the level you see in-game. This is how it normally works, but because my fantasy completely turns off any source of EXP gain whatsoever, the game is unable to do that. So what this means is that every single new party member I will get will also join me at level 1 with extremely low stats. Wow, the more I learn about this run, the worse it gets, and between you and me, I wouldn't have it any other way. Oh man, now that Grius is gone, Miss Fabienne is heartbroken, Maria is in shambles, this is too depressing. I'm just gonna go to bed early today.
Really? What exactly do you have against sleep?
In other news, it's finally time to add a new member to our ranks. The ravenous she-beast Hulkenberg. This marks the end of the prologue and the beginning of our first operation.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
So, our mission is as follows. To prevent the Day of Calamity from happening, we've got 10 days to climb the Grand Cathedral and defeat the Necromancer. Now that the prologue is over, I can freely choose how I want to use my day and night slots on any given day to prepare as best as I can for the task at hand. The first thing I wanted to do was ranking up my Wisdom virtue ASAP, and fortunately, there is a really convenient way to do that. On day 1, I did an activity to raise my Wisdom, and I also accepted the Help the Hushed Honeybee side quest. To complete this one, you just need to cook at the inn during the night. This quest increases your Wisdom, and when combined with the Wisdom activity I did the day prior, I got enough points to reach rank 2. Reaching Wisdom rank 2 is really useful for 2 reasons. First, it lets you talk to the beautiful Brigitta, and by doing so, I was able to obtain a special side quest. I've got more important fish to fry at the moment, but don't you worry, we will get back to this one in due time. And second, rank 2 Wisdom grants you the right to purify items at the St. Fermis Church. Remember the great sword I got from repelling that one dragon? Well, thanks to purification, I was able to turn that weapon into the Dragon's Judgment, a stronger greatsword whose basic attacks become fire affinity. With that done, I went straight to the mausoleum entrance and began my ascent of the desecrated cathedral. My top priority here was snatching the key to free the hostages in the prayer chamber, because doing that earned me the trust of my newest follower on Tumblr, the bounty hunter Katharina, whose bond unlocks the brawler Archetype. Despite all the suffering it caused me, I am really glad that I got the Dragon's Judgment Greatsword, because many of the enemies you face in this dungeon are weak to fire. This weapon is particularly useful for defeating your foes while saving MP, like these guys. These little balls are called Elementa. They are Metaphor's take on that one enemy archetype that RPGs are so fond of. I am of course talking about that one enemy that runs away a lot but gives really good rewards if you manage to beat it. Seriously, can you stand still for a second? My god, why are you so slippery? As you would expect with this enemy type, They are always going to run away once they get their turn. Fortunately, Metaphor allows us to stun enemies before entering in a battle, so we can use that to make sure they don't get to play the game.
There they go!
Ah, right. The thing is, even stunning these balls is really difficult because they will start running away as soon as they see you, and if you take too long, eventually they will disappear. Beating these guys is pretty useful because they drop a good amount of Mag and Archetype EXP. So, if I had to describe how exploring this dungeon has felt so far, I would say that it's been mostly good, all things considered. That was until I stumbled upon a white-clad soldier accompanied by another skeleton gang squad. Oh god, not the skeletons again! This time, we've got a dude who's busy buffing 24/7 and 4 angry skeletons whose attacks are simply too hard-hitting to survive. After many tries, I concluded that offense was the best defense, so I unlocked the Brawler archetype on both Stroll and Hulkenberg, and then I tried to kill my enemies before they would kill me. But between the frequent misses and the lack of damage, it became pretty clear that my enemies were better at killing every last one of us. The losses I suffered were not very pleasant, but at the very least I did get to learn some valuable piece of intel. Defeating all the skeletons before the white-clad is not a good idea because that makes him go on the offensive. As long as at least one skeleton is alive, the white-clad will never attack, so this is something that I can abuse to keep this dude out of the fight. Another important thing I learned is that Knight's Proclamation is a godsend for this fight. Normally, the skeletons love going for their multi-target nonsense, but using Proclamation forces these guys to spam basic attacks, an outcome that's a lot easier to deal with. It took a lot of trial and error, but eventually I found what looked like a solid team comp: Brawler, Healer, and Knight. I went with this team comp because it allows me to use a brand new mechanic: Synthesis skills. These are powerful skills that you can only perform when multiple party members with specific archetypes are on the field. By having one healer and one brawler, Stroll was able to use the powerful synthesis skill called Energy Ray to one-shot 2 of the 4 skeletons, while Hulkenberg went for Knight's Proclamation. And to ensure that my favorite knight would survive, I purposefully left the skeleton sword captain alive so that she would take reduced damage from their slash attacks. With only 2 foes to worry about, Hulky was able to consistently tank the blows, while Stroll and I kept landing hits on the mage. And whenever she got the chance, she was able to use her Jump Thrust synthesis skill to hit the weakness of the white-clad. Once the skeleton mage went down, I brought the last 2 remaining enemies low enough, and then the Hulk gave us the win on a silver platter.
Oi! This is ridiculous! How are we losing? We have a bloody army!
And we have a Hulk. Alright, Hulkenberg, do your thing.
I'm counting on you!
Hulk! Smash!
The next roadblock in my way was a group of Spectres who proved to be more challenging than I expected because of the curse spam. Hex Chant has a chance to inflict Hex, and this status is pretty nasty because being hexed triples the amount of damage you take from dark attacks. Ah yes, they have Mudo, because of course they do. One thing that I love about Metaphor is that it has a bunch of skill names that most Atlus fans aren't used to, like Bot, Blaze or Conde, but every once in a while you see a word that makes you go, I've seen this before. Now, regarding this fight, something that I noticed is that the Spectres have an interesting AI quirk. They will only start attacking after someone gets hexed. In other words, so long as no party member has been hexed, the Spectres will keep spamming Curse Chant, and this is something that I can use to my advantage thanks to the guard mechanic. One thing that the game doesn't tell you about guarding is that it makes you immune to status effects. So by guarding with everyone, I can force the Spectres to keep going for an attack that's never going to land. Now, if all I did was guard, then winning this fight wouldn't be possible. And that's why I decided to abuse another mechanic: the turn order. In the Mega 10 games, the way the turn order is handled tends to change from one game to another. For example, in Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, the turn order is dictated by the agility stat. Whoever has the highest agility goes first. In Shin Megami Tensei 5, the turn order is solely decided by the slot position of your allies. As for Metaphor, this mechanic actually works in a pretty interesting way. In this game, the turn order for the very first player phase is entirely dependent on the agility of your party. So, with my current setup of 2 mages and 1 healer, Hulkenberg will go first, Stroll will go second, and then will act last. However, for each subsequent player phase after the first one, the turn order isn't determined by agility anymore, but by whoever acted last. The easiest way to understand how it works is to think of it like this. In games like Nocturne and SMT5, the turn order always gets reset every player phase. So in those games, it doesn't matter who acts last, because number 1 will always be the one who gets to act first every player phase. But in Metaphor, the turn order continues as if you kept getting turns. So in this party of 3, if the player phase ends with number 2, in the next player phase, the person who will get to act first is not number 1, it is number 3. So by changing who acts last, I can manipulate the turn order for the next player phase, and luckily for me, I can do that with the pass command. Passing cycles control to the next character while only consuming half of a turn icon. Normally, if I just spam guard, every player phase is always going to play out the same. Hulky will go first, Stroll will go second, and Will move last. However, if I pass with Hulkenberg, I can ensure that she will be the last one to act while still having enough press turn icons to guard with everyone. And whenever that happens, Stroll is guaranteed to get the first turn on the following player phase. I can then pass his turn to Will and go for the synthesis skill Mahama to hit all the Spectos. And because my synthesis skill hit a weakness, I still have enough press turn icons to guard with everyone. So by combining all these mechanics together, I can safely exploit the weakness of my enemies while also making sure that they will never be able to attack me. Thanks to this flawless strategy, we managed to defeat all the Spectos without taking damage. With the jobbers gone, I was able to destroy the Melancholia Crystal, and that lifted the veil blocking the lift. The path to the upper floors has been cleared, but before we can go any further, we have to win the last mini-boss fight of this dungeon against 3 Louisian soldiers. Okay, so I know that these guys are called Louisian soldiers because they are from the army of Louis Guillaburn, but whenever I see their names, I feel the urge to call them the Louisiana soldiers. This is yet another matchup where Knight Hulkenberg is really good, but every time I attempted that fight, the Louisiana soldiers would go "It's Regicide time," kill her with a crit, and then proceed to Regicide all over us. Now, fixing this isn't too bad. I just have to make sure that Hulkenberg is able to guard, because guarding prevents critical hit from happening. No, the more pressing matter is the fact that all the fighting has seriously depleted our supply of MP. I could use a couple of Magla pills to fix that, but considering how valuable these items are, this is something that I would rather not do. I had to find a way to restore my party's MP that didn't involve using my precious items. And thankfully for me, there is another mechanic that I can use to achieve that: hero passives. So when you, the hero, equip an archetype, you get a unique ability called a hero passive that gets activated during overworld combat. Equipping the mage gives me access to magic recovery, a hero passive that recovers 1 MP each time an enemy is stunned or defeated. When playing normally, this passive is actually pretty good because it's very easy to one-shot enemies at a lower level than you. Now, because I'm at level 1, this ability is not as convenient as it should be, since I cannot one-shot anything, but with a bit of thinking, I was able to find a reasonable method to farm MP. In the Servant's Chamber, there is this one room with a bunch of tooth monsters. These guys are the weakest enemies in the entire dungeon. This makes them the perfect target because it's fairly easy to break and defeat them in overworld combat. So what I did is that I killed every last one of them by playing Dark Souls, then I went in and out of a Magla Hollow to make them respawn, and I returned to the room once again to start the cycle anew. And after many sessions of playing Dark Souls, I managed to bring everyone back to full MP without using a single item. The only price I had to pay was trading some of the limited amount of time I have left on this earth. Thanks to our hefty supply of MP, as well as the ice chunks I had been saving this entire time, we were able to defeat the Louisiana soldiers fairly quickly. With that taken care of, the only thing left is stopping Zorba.
Look out! Take cover! We cannot evade such a barrage, nor will our armor protect us fully. There has to be a better way.
We could use a shield, or something close enough to it.
A shield?
Well, for lack of a shield proper, can you think of anything we might use?
If we shield ourselves with Luis's portrait, Zorba may well refuse to fire upon us.
But it's just a flimsy painting.
A painting that he took the trouble to protect, transport, and mount. If he truly worships Luis, might he not hesitate to shoot it?
Point taken. I suppose it's our best shot.
What? You degenerates! That's...
Don't mind us. We've rubbish to dispose of.
Rubbish! You heathens! I'll pulverize you!
Try if you like. Be ashamed to destroy your Lord Luis's pretty face, though.
Ah! Underhanded, treacherous little...
That's rich coming from you!
Silence! You witless incompetents! I can't tarry here any longer. I have important things to do.
Metaphor ReFantazio, everybody. My game of the year 2024. Now, while I could fight Zorba right here and there, I am not going to do that. You see, challenging Zorba locks you in a sequence where you have to win 2 boss fights back to back. And at the moment, I just don't have the tools to do that. This marked the end of my day 2 exploration, but before leaving the Cathedral, I made sure to collect all the loot I could find, and I made sure that everyone would reach rank 6 with the Brawler to unlock Skullcracker, an attack with a pretty decent chance to inflict the status ailment called Forget. Now, I would love to tell you what Forget actually does, but unfortunately, I forgot. As for why I wanted to unlock this skill in particular, well, you will get your answer in the near future. After leaving the Cathedral, I spent my time raising my tolerance until Idol's Day finally came around. Idol's Day is always a good time because it's the day where all the city shops have discounts. And speaking of shops, there is one in particular that I would like to show you. In Grand Trad, there is a shop that's only open at night where you can buy damage-dealing items. Thanks to the Idol's Day discount, I bought a ton of ice chunks, I then raised my tolerance to rank 2, and on the following day, I decided to go to the Belega corridor to tackle Brigitta's quest. But between you and me, I prefer calling this place Naraku. While exploring Naraku, I went out of my way to fight an enemy called the Hexer Goborn. And I did that because I was after a specific item dropped by this disgusting looking goblin. It took way longer than I thought it would, but one of these goborns finally gave me what I was after. The Tinned Torpor, an item that debuffs attack by 1 stage. Getting through this place was a relatively simple affair.
Brace yourselves!
Anxiety, they're targeting him! What's wrong? Hulkenberg's down! Get her back
I'm
up!
sorry, everyone.
We reached the final floor of the corridor, and shortly after, we found ourselves inside the Hall of the Minotaur. This is the grotesque Goptoros, a level 22 boss. This boss has 2 weaknesses, Pierce and Ice. By the way, if you were thinking about bringing some mages to this fight, don't. While the mage archetype can exploit the ice weakness of this boss, bringing a mage is still a bad idea because it will anger the Gop. And when the Gop is angry, nothing can survive his frenzy. Since exploiting that Pierce weakness isn't really practical, I decided to focus on the ice one. With the ice chunks, I can consistently deal 100 damage, and since the Gop has around 2500 HP, I just need to throw 25 of those chunks to win. But this begs the question, how do we survive long enough to do that?
That's the neat thing. You don't.
Yeah, no. Tanking hits is simply not going to work with this guy. We are talking about a boss who can straight up one-shot everyone from the back row. Luckily for you and I, while I was working on this run, something absolutely crazy got discovered, and that very thing was exactly the answer I was looking for. What I'm talking about is an exploit that was discovered by my fellow challenge runner Zero with the assistance of the data miner CTOBN. This exploit has to do with a unique interaction between ailments and support effects. So in this game, each ailment starts with some number of turns remaining, and that number goes down at the start of each turn. Normally, once that number goes down to 0, the ailment will wear off on its own. But there is an oversight. If any support effect like a buff or debuff expires at the start of a turn, the ailment timer does not go down for that turn. It gets paused. So if I inflict an ailment on an enemy and then time my debuffs in such a way that they expire one after another, this exploit essentially allows me to extend the duration of that ailment. And this is something that we can abuse against the GUP. You see, unlike most story bosses who are immune to all status ailments, bounty targets like the GUP aren't immune to everything. They just have a really high resistance to most ailments, meaning that while tough, it is actually possible to give them the flu. So in order to pull off this exploit, we are gonna need two things: a way to inflict an ailment, and some support effects that we can apply to the boss. My options for inflicting ailments are fairly limited at the moment, but I have made sure to unlock the only ailment-inducing move that is available at this point in the game. That move is Skullcracker. As for the support effects, while I still don't have a way to learn debuffing spells, I have made sure to obtain the two items in this entire segment that can be used to debuff my enemy: the Corrosive Acid and the Tinned Topper. And now that all the pieces of the puzzle are in place, it's time to show you the strategy for the first turn of the fight. The plan is to go with a squad of 3 brawlers, use one debuff item, and then crack the skull of the GUP until the ailment lands. Skullcracker has a 40% chance to inflict Forget, so you would think that this would be a simple affair, but unfortunately there is an issue. Remember how I said that bosses like the GUP have a resistance to most ailments? Yeah, that resistance is really high. So high in fact that it reduces my 40% chance to inflict Forget to a measly 4%. I optimized the first turn to allow the squad to click Skullcracker more often, but with odds this low, it simply wasn't working out. No matter how many times we tried, nothing would land. With each new defeat, I was becoming less confident in this strategy, and with how badly my attempt was going, it looked like my fantasy was about to die.
Just the thing.
It's okay. We can hear.
You hit their weakness!
I call upon royal power within!
With a single fist. Here!
Hulkenberg got
Come
tired
forth,
of
royal soul!
Oh, yes! But it didn't. As you just saw, Forget prevents the afflicted from using their skills, and thanks to that, I don't have to worry about getting hit by the GUP anymore. Once turn 2 rolled around, I used my Tinned Topper, and I really thought that I had this in the bag, but then, out of nowhere, the GUP went for a basic attack. Yeah, while Forget prevents a foe from using their skills, they can still go for the silly basic attack. It was at this point that the battle became really stressful. Thanks to the way I timed my debuffs, I was able to ensure that the GUP would remain afflicted by Alzheimer for 2 additional turns, but with the threat of the basic attacks looming over my head, I had to do everything in my power to win before the GUP could remember how to play the game. Defense return to normal, takes aim.
Let's try this.
You hit their weak point. Keep it up.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna get close.
Let's stay calm. Take it!
Come on.
You hit their weakness.
Can't afford to hold
That's
back.
your opening, Captain.
From our provisions.
Come on.
Careful.
Please do not. Oh, why?
Get her back up.
Oh, the basic attack. Oh, man.
This should work. Get back in the fight.
It's okay. Let's try this.
You hit their weakness.
With these fists, this
That's
calls
your
for one of
opening,
these.
Captain. You hit their weak point.
Let's stay calm.
Keep it up, Stroll.
Take it!
Yes. Oh, I managed to do it. With the Minotaur defeated, I was able to complete Brigitta's request, allowing me to unlock her as a new follower on LinkedIn. And by reaching Brigitta's rank 1, I finally got access to one of the best archetypes in the entire game, the Merchant.
Hello, I like money.
Then, after unlocking this archetype on Will, I went back to Naraku to get all the tools I needed to defeat the last 2 bosses gatekeeping the early game. And now that I've got access to the Merchant, I can finally indulge in my capitalistic ambitions by farming as much money as I want! Wait, only 15 reefs? That doesn't make sense. The amount of money I'm getting is way too low. This shouldn't be possible unless... Let me explain. So one of the reasons why I wanted to unlock the merchant so badly is because of its godly hero passive called Alchemy. The way Alchemy works is that it gives you a sum of money each time an enemy is stunned or defeated in overworld combat. In regular play, this is an amazing ability that allows you to get a ton of money by collecting taxes, but here is the thing. What I didn't know before starting this run is that the game has a specific formula for calculating how much money Alchemy gives you. That formula is 15 multiplied by your level. Yes, that's right. Your level affects how much money you get from Alchemy, and since I'm gonna be stuck at level 1 for the entire game, 15 is the highest amount of money that I will ever be able to get from that ability. This essentially means that money farming with Merchant is impossible. Let me say that again. I cannot money farm with the class that was designed for money farming. Ridiculous. Since I couldn't get any use out of Alchemy, I decided to focus on the second reason behind my return to the Naraku corridor: item farming. So there is an enemy inside this dungeon called the Vicious Hondo, and what's interesting about this doggo is that it can drop the Fire Fang, an item that deals 150 fire damage to all enemies. This item is fantastic, but there is a catch. It's a rare drop. Normally, this would make farming Fire Fangs pretty tedious, but thanks to Regicide difficulty, this isn't so bad. You see, one of the quirks of Regicide that I didn't tell you about is that this difficulty doubles the drop rate for items. This alone makes item farming a lot better by default, but to increase my odds as much as possible, I made sure to reach rank 2 with my merchant to unlock Lucky Find, a passive skill that increases the likelihood of receiving items after battles by 20%. Thanks to these mechanics, I was able to get a decent amount of Fire Fangs. I also got a ton of Tint Torpor, and I'm sure that these will come in handy in the future. And after doing that, I began what would be my longest grinding session of the early game, bringing one archetype to rank 20 for every character. As for what would motivate someone to go through so much pain this early into the game, well, there are two reasons. The first one is that reaching rank 20 allows you to master an archetype, and this is important because it gives us access to the archetype experience bonus mechanic. So as you can see here, despite having reached rank 20, my merchant is still able to earn AEXP. When you equip a mastered archetype, you receive additional experience, and when you get enough to fill the bar, that experience you collected will be converted into a hero's Leaf of Light, an item that increases archetype experience by 1000. So by keeping mastered archetypes on everyone, I will be able to passively collect archetype experience items that can then be used to rank up my other archetypes, and this is easily one of my favorite mechanics in this game. As for the second reason, it's tied to my stats. Since EXP has been completely disabled, I can't raise my stats via leveling up. This means that I can't directly raise my HP or MP, and when you consider the fact that enemies are going to hit harder the further I get, having a low HP stat is a massive issue. Now, while I can't raise my stats the traditional way, there are actually 3 interesting mechanics that I can use to achieve that desired result. The first one is pretty self-explanatory. It's using stat boosters, but there is a caveat. In Metaphor, it's pretty much impossible to farm stat boosters until the final dungeon, so while these items are definitely useful, I will not be able to rely on them during this run. Now the second mechanic is really cool because it's tied to the archetype system. So when you rank up an archetype, you get a bonus point in a specific stat. And when you master an archetype by reaching rank 20, you get an even bigger boost, also in a specific stat. These bonuses are permanent, and what's pretty cool about the system is that the stat boosts you get will depend on the archetype you have mastered. Most archetypes give you a boost in one of the 5 main stats, but some archetypes will grant you a permanent HP or MP increase if you master them. So mastering those specific archetypes is going to be my primary way of increasing the HP and MP of all my party members. As for the third mechanic, well, this one hasn't been introduced yet, so we will get back to this conversation in due time. Also, it's worth mentioning that in this game, you can get stat bonuses from equipping various pieces of gear. Reaching master rank with the Brawler permanently increases the HP of a character by 20, so I made sure to master Brawler on both Stroll and Hulkenberg. And as a nice bonus for reaching rank 20, they unlocked Health Font, a passive that raises max HP by 15%. I also acquired enough mag to unlock the merchant for these two, and once that was done, I made sure that each of them reached rank 5 to unlock an amazing skill called Trader's Summit. Oh, also, since Will has mastered the merchant, he has unlocked Debt Collection, a skill that lets you steal mag from an enemy. This is an amazing skill that will allow me to farm wait. Debt Collection costs 100 MP. I have 75 MP at the moment, so I can't even cast the skill once. So yeah, let's talk about this skill again when I have enough MP to cast it. After doing everything that I set out to achieve, I finally left the Naraku corridor. All in all, this little prep session didn't last that long. It only took 8 hours. On the following day, I played with Brigitta's dog to reach her rank 2, and then I waited for Idol's Day to sell all the loot I had amassed from Naraku. Doing that gave me enough money to purchase the Noble Tuxedo, which is the best piece of armor that I can get my hands on at this point in time. Then, when nighttime came around, I made sure to replenish my supply of damage-dealing items. And, on the last day that I was given to complete the deadline, I returned to the Grand Cathedral. Oh look, that's the gigantic human corpse that Luis Guyaburn brought with him. Surely, the fact that this monstrosity can be seen from all the way up here isn't going to be an ill omen of things to come. Hello Zorba, long time no see. There are 3 things that you need to know about Zorba. The first one is, I pull your strings! The second one is, I've bodies to spare! And last but not least, this boss has no weakness. So Zorba's fighting style is pretty in line with his personality. He summons corpses and then lets them do the dirty work. If you can't defeat the bodies he has to spare quickly, then this fight has the potential to spiral out of control, but unfortunately for Zorba, I came prepared. The bodies whose strings he pulls have a pretty convenient fire weakness, so I can just throw fire fangs to destroy them while also hitting our necromancer friend. Now, if you pay close attention to my damage numbers, you can see that my fire fang that's supposed to deal 150 damage is hitting for 225. If you are wondering where this boost is coming from, it's all thanks to this skill I got back in Naraku. Trader's Summit is a passive that increases the effects of consumables by 1.2. But what's really fascinating about this skill is that the boost it gives increases further if archetypes of the same lineage are present on the field. So by having a squad of 3 merchants, I can increase the boost from 1.2 to 1.5. Oh, and regarding items, one thing that's really cool about those is that in Metaphor, the damage they deal is fixed. And because they still abide by the weakness system, hitting the corpses with my fire fangs allows me to act more often, while also completely disregarding Zorba's fire resistance. The plan worked out just as well as I expected, and after easily destroying the second corpse, Zorba had no other choice than to bend the knee.
This should work!
Impossible! This can't be happening! Lord Luis!
That'll do.
Okay then. Oh.
His Highness's home must still stand when he returns.
I will end this here!
Another city in ruins. Never again. It dies or I do.
It's coming!
This is Homo Avades, the last boss fight of the back-to-back sequence. This fight has the potential to be difficult at level 1, but unfortunately for the boss, the no archetype run I did taught me that this guy also gets destroyed by fire fangs. By throwing a couple of those, I was able to break the shell, and that gave me 2 free turns to go ham on the exposed heart. Eventually, the creature got up, then it summoned a bunch of tiny dudes. And to this day, I still don't know what the tiny dudes are supposed to do, because right after they showed up, one last fire fang was more than enough to fell the giant beast without taking any damage.
I shall fight as the noble I am.
Use any skills.
This calls for one of these.
I like how the little guys on top are still spinning around as if nothing happened.
Not bad, if I say so myself.
Ah, that reminds me. You are probably confused by this no archetype run I just mentioned, right? Let me explain. The video you are currently watching is not my first Metaphor challenge run. Initially, I was working on a project that I dubbed the no archetype run. The goal of that run was to make things more challenging by limiting how much I could interact with the archetype system. And while these rules definitely made the early game pretty challenging, everything after that became really boring. See, the issue with self-imposed rules is that if you restrict your options too much, you run the risk of significantly decreasing the amount of strategizing you can do. In no archetype, I could only use basic attacks and items to deal damage. Items proved to be a lot stronger than I thought, so my main strategy essentially devolved into throwing items from the back row. And because the enemies couldn't deal significant damage, they weren't able to threaten me, so I had nothing interesting to say about them. Deep down, I was hoping that things would get better as I progressed further, but try as I might, there was still no trace of a challenge in sight. Eventually, I reached the endgame, and that's when I had to choose. Should I finish this run, or should I just scrap everything and restart from scratch with a brand new idea? Now, I won't lie to you. The idea of giving up on the no archetype run was a big source of fear and anxiety for me. If I was a reasonable YouTuber, I should have finished both no archetype and level 1 to have 2 videos, but unfortunately for you and me, I am not a reasonable YouTuber. If my upload schedule didn't make this clear already, the quality of each of my projects matters more to me than the quantity of videos I upload. So, after spending 83 hours and recording 876 gigs worth of footage, I decided to cancel the no archetype project. This wasn't an easy decision to make, but I'm glad that I made that call, because the level 1 run is easily one of the most fun projects I've worked on, and I firmly believe that this video will speak for itself on that matter. Winning this fight made me feel pretty great, but after everything settled down, I started thinking about Grius, and that's when the melancholia kicked in. Death is a saddening experience, not just for the departed, but also for those who are left behind. Now that he is gone, the poor little Maria has to come to terms with the loss of her dad, and at such a young age too. Back when he was still with us, I told Grius that I will keep visiting Maria, and this is a promise that I plan to keep. Hold strong, Maria. We will get through this together. With the Day of Calamity behind us, we can focus on our next objective.
Whoa. You have any idea who that is? If you imbeciles can't even get that straight, you've no chance at winning. They want kingly types, not children play acting.
Stuck-up little...
Ah, right. This is Glodell. And the only thing you need to know about him is that I hate Glodell. What was I saying again? Ah, right! The tournament for the One Piece is about to start. If only we had the Gauntlet Runner.
What the heck is that?
Oh, wonderful. So much for a first impression.
Right! I'd call that a full roster! Ladies and gentlemen, race across the land. Go! Prove yourself worthy and earn your crown. For the people, for the throne. Let the games begin!
Come on, come on! So fast! Gotta hold on to something or I'll get blown up!
It's incredible!